Hey guys, welcome back to Walk and Study. Today is a very simple lesson. Today's lesson is for English learners who are just starting and who want to learn some of the basics. This lesson is for students at the A1 level. As we work through this lesson, we will be walking around Union Station in downtown Denver. Union Station is the central passenger train station in Denver. Today, we will be going over a simple and very important verb tense in English, the present continuous tense, also known as the present progressive tense. Before we talk about this verb tense, let's go over the main ways this verb tense changes with different subjects, also known as the verb forms or verb conjugations. Let's use the verb eat as an example. As we can see in the graphic, when using present continuous tense, we have to use the to be verb with the present participle of the main verb, meaning we add ing to the main verb. So the verb that changes based on the subject is the to be verb, while the main verb remains the same. For instance, we say, I am eating, you are eating, and she is eating. One thing to remember is that in spoken English, Americans almost always use the short form, so our three example sentences become, I'm not eating, you're not eating, and she's not eating. Now let's see how to make negative sentences in the present continuous tense. As you can see in the graphic, to make a sentence negative in the present continuous tense, all we have to do is add the word not between the to be verb, also known as the auxiliary verb, and the main verb. As you can see in the graphic, the conjugation of the to be verb does not change. For example, we could say, Alexandria is not shopping right now. We could also say, they are not visiting Los Angeles. One more example might be, I am not flying home until Thursday. Now let's talk about when we use this tense. We use this tense in four main ways. First, we use this tense to talk about an action or condition that is happening right when we are speaking. For example, if you see someone doing something and you want to talk about what that person is doing, you use the present continuous tense. We could say, that woman is eating. So the woman we are talking about is eating right now. We could also say, the woman is talking and the man is listening. For everyone watching this video right now, I can say, you are watching Walk and Study right now. So whenever an action is occurring at the moment of speaking, we use the present continuous tense. Okay, let's talk about the second main way we use the present continuous tense. We use present continuous tense to talk about something that is happening now, but not right at the moment of speech. These are longer actions that are in progress. For instance, let's say your mom has a job at Google and someone asks you, where is your mother working? Even if she isn't at work at the exact moment the person asks you the question, maybe they ask you the question on a Sunday, you would still use present continuous tense. So you would say, my mother is working at Google. Another example might be when we are talking about books we are reading. You might say, I am reading the book Moby Dick. Even if you aren't reading the book at the exact moment you make that statement, you still use present continuous tense because you are in the process of doing that longer action. A similar example might be, I am studying to become a doctor, or I am studying English. Even though you aren't studying at the exact second you make those statements, you are in the process of studying for those things, so you use the present continuous tense. All right, let's practice. Pause the video and write down 5 sentences in present continuous tense using the 2 main usages we have talked about so far in the comments section. Try to use 5 different verbs and 5 different subjects. For the first 25 comments, I will read through your sentences and correct any problems for you. Good luck. Now let's talk about the third main way we use present continuous tense. We use present continuous to talk about things that will or will not happen in the near future, also known as very soon. For example, we could say, we are meeting my friends tomorrow. In this example, the present continuous is used to describe an action, meeting friends, in the near future, tomorrow. We could also say, I am not going to Germany with my sister on Tuesday. One last example, they are going to the beach this weekend. So, if we want to talk about something that will happen in a very long time, we typically would not use the present continuous tense. Instead, we would use the future tense. The fourth main way we use present continuous tense is to talk about an action that happens very regularly. When we use present continuous tense to talk about actions that happen regularly, we often use words like always, constantly, forever, and often. These words are called adverbs of time, and they tell us that the action we are talking about is happening frequently or regularly. When using these words in the present continuous tense, we have to put the adverbs between the to be verb and the main verb. For example, we can say, you are always forgetting your keys. As you can see, the word always goes between the word are and the word forgetting. You could also say, Charlie and Max are constantly smiling. Okay, let's practice again. Pause the video and write down 5 sentences in present continuous tense using the third and fourth main usages we just talked about in the comments section. Try to use 5 different verbs and 5 different subjects. For the first 25 comments, I'll read through your sentences and correct any problems for you. Good luck. Okay, now let's talk about forming questions in the present continuous tense. As you can see in the graphic, forming questions in the present continuous tense is pretty easy. All we have to do is switch the subject and the to be verb. Using the verb run as an example, we could say, am I running? Are you running? Is she, he, it running? Are we running? Are they running? If we want to use other question words like where, when, or how with present continuous tense, all we have to do is put the question word in front of the to be verb. For example, we could ask, how are they traveling to China? In this sentence, the question word how is in front of the are, which is in front of the subject they. We could also ask, when is your sister arriving in Sweden? One more example might be, where am I going to sleep tonight? Whenever you want to use a question word in the present continuous tense, just remember to put it before the to be verb. Okay, I want to talk really quickly about a common mistake that many English learners make when using the present continuous tense. In English, there's a whole group of verbs called non-continuous verbs, and these are verbs that you often cannot see somebody doing. So these are verbs like want, need, like, love, hate, dislike, and fear. Often, we cannot use these verbs in the present continuous tense, and instead we have to use them in the present simple tense. For example, we would not say, I am wanting a piece of cake. Instead, we use these verbs in the present simple tense and just say, I want a piece of cake. We also would not say, I am liking cats and dogs. Again, we use the present simple tense and say, I like cats and dogs. Okay, practice time. Pause the video and write down 5 questions in present continuous tense in the comments section. Try to use 5 different verbs and 5 different subjects. As always, for the first 25 comments, I will read through your sentences and correct any problems for you. Good luck. Okay, I hope you all added questions to the comments. I look forward to reading what everybody came up with. With that, we've gone over the present continuous tense in English. This is a basic tense, but a very important tense. I hope this lesson was helpful to you all. As always, subscribe below, give us a like if you found the video helpful, and let us know in the comments section what else you'd like to learn about or see in our next walk and study video. Thanks guys. Take care.